What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction. Oops. And I share my life with you. I am going to be doing my makeup and straightening my hair, and I thought we could just have a little makeup and chill chat stream. As you guys know, or that for those of you guys that don't know, my boss just texted me, and they have shut down my job for the next 2 weeks. No one is allowed to go in and service any stores. No one's allowed to get any admin time. Like, we're straight up not supposed to go in for 2 weeks. So, which I thought they would have done that a long time ago because everybody's supposed to be social distancing or whatever. But they just did it now, so whatever. I still have my second job that I do from home, so I'm extremely thankful for that. And anyone out there who is watching my channel that is struggling with a disease of addiction, please reach out, you guys. You're not alone, and there's options out there. Just because the coronavirus is going on doesn't mean that you cannot seek recovery coaching. It doesn't mean that you can't seek telemedicine. And, I know you guys know that Dr. B is able to do all that. And you guys know that I'm a big, big believer in Dr. B and his treatment. So, oh God, I almost sat on my glasses. So for those of you guys that, like I said, are in active addiction still, reach out. I got you. Okay? We will find something that works for you, and whatever your needs are, we can make it specific to what you need. So that's the pretty awesome thing about recovery is that, there's all kinds of different ways that you can get sober. You don't just have to go to 30-day rehab. There's different options out there for you. So we're going to straighten my hair, and then we're going to do makeup. So for those of you guys that are new to my channel, welcome. Hey, Sabitha, what's up, girl? Welcome to the channel. I'm going to share this out so that way people actually know that I'm live, because YouTube has been screwing me over. It's like now that I have more people on my channel, it's like none of my notifications are going out. I'm pretty sure it's because of all the people that are on YouTube right now, but still it pisses me off. You know what I mean? I'm doing good too, sis. Thanks. Like I said, they just closed my job down, so I'm going to be at home indefinitely, which, like I said, it doesn't bother me to be at home because I'm a homebody, y'all. But it does when I need money, you know what I'm saying? Luckily, we went ahead and we sent our taxes off, so our taxes are going to get deposited this Friday. Hopefully, we'll have, money to save. But it's just crazy. I'm very thankful that my husband is able to work, you guys, because there was a time where, we both didn't have jobs because of our addictions. So we're really, really lucky. Oh, you've been out to buy. I understand that. You got to do what you got to do. I'm glad that you were able to go out and get it done. Here, we're not supposed to be going. Well, I mean, you could go out to the grocery store. My husband works at the grocery store, so I'm really lucky because he can just get what we need. Hold on just a second. I'm going to let everybody know that we are doing a live stream. Okay. Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. I just want to let you know that I'm live over on YouTube at Real Talk Recovery, so come join us and chill while I do my makeup. All right, bye. I love talking with you guys and just hanging out. Is there somebody else live at the same time? Been out to, oh, I'm sure they comment. Everybody, let me see. Okie dokie. Okay, Sabitha, I'm going to pay attention now, girl. So How is everybody doing? Are y'all doing okay? Like, I know that with all this coronavirus stuff, a lot of people are having a lot of anxiety. And so I just want to let you guys know that try not to worry, try not to, hey, hi at last. Hey, Nicole, I made it, no seizures. I opened a book called Tales of the Apocalypse and 3 bars fell out. So no more cold turkey Xanax withdrawals at the moment. Damn, hi at last. How did that happen? That's crazy. Well, you know what? Hi at last. Maybe that was God's way of, like, you know what I'm saying? That way you, are not going to be in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing with cold turkey benzo withdrawal, you guys. It's so, hey, certified loser, I'm glad you came over. We're just going to do some makeup, you guys, and we're going to chat. I wanted to update you guys on what's going on with the groups that we're going to have in the evening. I love you guys' feedback. It helps me to be better, you guys. It really, really does help me to do better. So I had put a community tab post out, and I had asked you guys, like, hey, I've noticed that a lot of people haven't been coming to the live streams, and like right now, like last week and the week before that, I would go live and there would be 40 people over here. So I'm thinking what's happening is there's just an overwhelming amount of people on the internet right now. And so maybe people are not getting the notifications that I'm live. Because I know you guys like coming over and hanging out, and I'm pretty sure y'all do. Y'all let me know. I also wanted to ask you guys, like, is it getting too repetitive? Am I driving you guys crazy? Let me know, because I want to make changes to help you guys, and I want to do better, okay? I really, really do. I just, hey, 40 ounces for hey girl, I'm so glad you made it over too. So listen to this, you guys. I got a phone call or a text this morning from a guy in Los Angeles, and then listen to this. I'm new to the channel. I work with Big Herc. I'm a photographer and videographer and promoter. Big Herc directed me to your channel. What we've seen so far, we at Fresh Out love the content, especially the message, also the service that you are providing. Wanted to take time out and tell you thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. If you see this video, so much for that. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm working really hard to get better and have better quality videos. Maybe one day I'll even be up at the level that Big Herc's at with all that professional stuff. But for the time being, we're small time and we're making it work, right, you guys? So anyway, for those of you guys that don't know this, a lot of people don't understand or know that now with the whole thing going on with the coronavirus, a lot of people that are needing detox or need to go to rehab or get treatment, you guys, are not able to do it because they're shutting down these facilities. So if anybody, like, if any of you guys are struggling or have anything like that going on where you can't get in somewhere and you need recovery support, please reach out to me, okay? You can call me and I'll talk to you on the phone for free. I'm not like I'm seriously just trying to let you guys know that I'm here and that if you need me, I will be there, okay? Of course, if everybody's calling my phone at one time, I'll only be able to take one phone call at a time. But what I'm trying to say is that you have a resource and that I'm here. I'm available to you guys. Hey, Kaylee, what's up, girl? Lockdown in Memphis. You know I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas, so I'm not far behind you, sis. I just want you guys to know that I'm here for you. You know? And welcome to everybody that, is new to the channel. We've had quite a few people join in the last month or so, and y'all have no idea how much it means to me. Like, I love having you guys here. And it's fun to have you guys here, and y'all help me stay sober for real. So just wanted you guys to know that. How's everybody, how are all you guys doing with like I was saying before, your anxiety? How are you feeling? Are you feeling okay? Off-Pratt Road by Eat and Baseline Road. Girl, I know what you're talking about. I live in not Southwest. I live in West Little Rock, over off Cantrell. That's so crazy. What a small world, It's like the more people I'm meeting here on my YouTube channel, the more people that I'm meeting that are living here. Also, you guys, I've gotten some really great information from people that I joined from Big Sid and then saw how awesome it is here. Man, hi at last. I'm so glad to hear that. Hey, sweet Melissa, what's up, girl? Working. That's what's up. Are you able to work from home, or are you working in the house? This is what we got to do, you guys. I'm so glad you guys are all coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're in any recovery groups and they are like needing support, let them know that we're going to be going live tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Just so you guys know, I've got some awesome recovery interviews lined up for the next week. So tonight we have Laura coming on. Laura has a channel called Laura Jane's Beauty. I will link her channel tonight when she comes on. And then tomorrow we have Dee coming on. And Dee is somebody that I helped get sober. So it's like full circle. He reached out to me like 6 months to a year ago and was really struggling. And now he's sober and he's going to come on the channel and share his story. So I'm just like, what is this happening? I'm so proud of him. It's so freaking amazing, you guys, to see people that you've worked with and tried to help get sober and change their lives. Another girl that I worked with, she just hit her 1 year. Her name is Sonia. She just hit her 1 year. I think it was March 16th or 17th. And I actually made a community tab post about her, celebrate her 1 year. But it's like, this can be done. You can make changes in your life and never have to go back to that lifestyle. Let me read your comments. I'm super scared getting buprenorphine is going to be hard in the future. This has been a nightmare for years for me. So listen up, okay, sis? Everything's going to be okay. There's no reason why they're going to run out of bupe. There's no reason that you're not going to be able to get it called in and go to the pharmacy. Okay, the pharmacy, the grocery stores, those places are essential and they're going to stay open. Now, you guys might want to take the precautions, okay, to talk to your clinics and doctors and find out if they're going to be writing your prescriptions for multiple weeks at a time. I know that my doctor's office, they are writing the Suboxone scripts for 30 days at a time. So that way, if you are on buprenorphine, you don't have to keep going back up there to get your medication or get a script. Hey, Byron. Let me see. I'm trying to read. I want to read y'all's comments because I love interacting with you guys. Okay. Sweet Melissa says, I work at a hospital in the office, but we're still here. Hey, Sabbatha, I'm good. How are you? Oh, I'm so proud of you, Melissa. You're really doing something to help people if you're working in a hospital. So I have so much respect for you, girl. Hey, everyone in the chat. There's a special place in heaven for people like you. Oh, Kaylee, thanks, girl. Thank you. I appreciate that. Listen to me, sis, okay? Let me tell you something. Kaylee just said there's a special place in heaven for people like me. Let me go ahead and tell y'all something. All the shit I did in my addiction, I need to be doing good today. I need to be giving back and helping people change their lives. You know why? Because in my addiction, I did nothing but crimes and hurt people, and I was selfish and self-seeking, and all I thought about was me, you know. So now that I'm sober, one of the ways that I stay sober is by helping others, and it's changed my life, you guys. It's the reason why I'm here today with you, is because coming on here, it literally saves my life to sit here and talk with you guys and share you guys the stories of when I was out there. In fact, since I got a couple of you guys here that are new, I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about me and what it was like when I was in my addiction. Would y'all like me to do that? Let me know if y'all want me to do that. Do y'all want me to tell y'all some stories, or do y'all want me to talk about something else while I do my makeups? In fact, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section and I'll answer any questions you have. I'm super open-minded, you guys, and I will share anything with you. Nothing is a secret here on my channel. Nothing. Nicole, did you and Dave talk? I'm going to push this until I hear you on his show, or vice versa. So, okay, I talked to him in DMs, and what happened was he ended up getting sick that night, so he was going to reschedule with me. So what I need to do is I will message him. Let me send him a message on Instagram right now. I will message him back. Now, did you see the post I made about the meetings underneath somebody's post? I think it was a guy that was struggling about talking in meetings. So I told him that we have kind of different kind of meetings here. And those of you guys that don't know who Dave is, there's this awesome podcast, if you haven't already heard of it, called Dopey. And it is hilarious. They tell a lot of crazy stories like I do here on my channel. And if you don't listen to the Dopey Nation, you need to listen to it. I'm trying to get over there on their podcast to share my story because of my girl. She's the one who put me on. I never thought to ask them to work with them, but I'll tell you, me and Megan Kinney just recorded a video for the Addictionary podcast, and I've been on her podcast like 3 times, and I love it. I love her. I'm obsessed with her. Sky, I am so proud of you guys. Y'all give it up for Sky Love, aka Jane. She's got 4 days sober, you guys. 4 days sober. Girl, that is a miracle. You should be so proud of yourself. Don't give up, okay? You deserve sobriety. You don't got to live that life no more, okay? And you know you got me in your corner, all right? So you need me, you just call me, okay? Do not hesitate to call me. When you guys say, oh, I'm worried that I'm going to be bothering you, or, you know, I don't want to be a nuisance, listen to me right now. Do not be worried about bothering me. I stay sober by helping you guys, so don't even trip. Okay? All right, let's get back to the conversation at hand. It's okay. You can name drop in here, girl. We support anyone in recovery. Anyone that's making a difference and changing their lives. I'm not the kind of person that's like, you can't share that here. In fact, whenever my head moderator gets here, he usually links other people's channels that do recovery content. So, hey, Emily, what's up, girl? Love you too. Okay, so let me tell y'all some stories. All right, let me think of one that I think a lot of you guys will be able to relate to. Let me think. I've told so many stories, it's hard for me to remember it, honestly, you guys. Okay. All right, so back whenever I was first trying to get sober, you guys, if you didn't know, I've been to 5 rehabs, okay? And all those rehabs were great rehabs. There was no reason why I shouldn't have stayed sober. It was just that I didn't apply myself. Like, I would go into treatment and then I would come out and I would relapse because I would stay hanging out with the same people, places, and things. I'm using the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette for those of you guys that want to know. Oh, hold on, guys. Let me answer this phone call. Hello. I hate when people call from places. It's like a telemarketer or whatever. Okay. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so it's gonna drive me insane. Okay, so I've been to treatment 5 times. All right. Hey Julia, what's up, girl? I've been to treatment 5 times, and one of the most memorable times that I have had in rehab was the time I went to RCA. So let me share with you guys about RCA. RCA stands for Recovery Centers of Arkansas. All right. Before I went to Recovery Centers of Arkansas, I had been to a place called Quapaw House. Quapaw House was the first treatment center I ever went to. Okay, so I went to Quapaw House, then I went to South Arkansas Substance Abuse Center, which was in El Dorado, Arkansas. And then after I got out of prison, I paroled out to Recovery Centers of Arkansas. Recovery Centers of Arkansas, the way I paroled out, you guys, I paroled out to the halfway house there, and they called it Williamsburg. Let me just tell you all about Williamsburg. How many of you guys have been to halfway houses where it was co-ed? So there was guys and girls. Of course, there was a girls' hallway and a guys' hallway to kind of keep us away from each other because they didn't want you hooking up. And that was one of the main rules, was no fraternizing with the other clients. And so when I paroled out from prison, for those of you guys that didn't know, I did a year in the Arkansas Department of Corrections for probation violation. My original charge was possession of a controlled substance, Class C, which was a rig with methamphetamine in it. For those of you guys that don't know what a rig is, it is a needle, okay? So I had that in my car, got pulled over, and got a charge, got put on probation, and failed my drug test, so they sent me to prison. So when I got to prison, you guys, when I got out of prison and I went to the halfway house, I was super excited because I was starting my life over. I had never lived anywhere that I can remember besides Hot Springs, Arkansas, okay? So when I was living in Hot Springs, that's where I grew up. My mom and dad had me in New York, okay? My mom is from California, and my dad is from New York. My mom's Mexican, my dad's Italian. That's why I'm brown. So they had me in New York, and I didn't move back moved to Arkansas until I was about 4. So when I got out of prison, I paroled out into Little Rock, which is where I live now, which to me was a lot. It's a bigger city. It's the capital of Arkansas and the boyhood home of President Bill Clinton. Okay. And so I paroled out to the halfway house, and I got there, and I remember the day I got there, my best friend Scott, he's gay, met me there with this beautiful purple Vince Camuto purse. Now, one of the things that y'all might not know about me is that I love purses. I love purses so much that I'm willing to spend hundreds of dollars on a name brand bag, like Coach or Prada or Vince Camuto or Judy & Burke, all those name brands. I love name brand purses, okay? And so he met me there with that beautiful leather purse, and that's another thing. I love leather purses. So I moved into my little room, you guys. Hey, Jessica. Thanks for coming, girl. I moved into my room, and I moved in, and my roommate, you guys, was this girl named Andy, okay? Thanks, Certified Loser. Love ya. Andy was at that time 16 years old. And so we were living in the halfway house together. She was my roommate. So I took her under my wing. I was like, you know what? I'm going to help this girl. We're going to do this together. We're going to get sober and stay sober. Well, not long after I moved in, I noticed that she was sneaking out. She was sneaking out of the window at night when we were sleeping. And of course, you know me, she was asking me to cover for her so she wouldn't get in trouble. So I didn't rat her out because I, was still in my old criminal mindset where, snitches get stitches. You don't tell on nobody. And so I didn't tell on her. And one night she came back after being snuck out, and she was high on meth. And I thought, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, what are we going to do? She's only 16. This girl was only 16 years old, you guys, but she went hard in the paint. So she ended up relapsing, and instead of kicking her out of the halfway house, what they do is they would send you to treatment. So you would just go into the treatment center, which was RCA. So they sent her into treatment, and then guess what happened? Then I relapsed. I relapsed on methamphetamine and Xanaxes. It all started out because me and my girlfriend, Cricket, we had gotten a weekend pass. So we went out and we rented a hotel room. Y'all already know what's fixing to happen. We rented a hotel room with these two fine-ass guys from the halfway house, and we all went and we got high and relapsed together. Now, while we were at that hotel room, Cricket didn't get high because she was pregnant, and I was over there just living it up. I got high, and on the way back to the treatment center on Monday, after we had been out on pass, they drug tested me. And so they sent me back to the rehab. So I went into treatment, and guess who I was there with? I was there with my girl, Andy. Me and Andy did everything together while we were in treatment, you guys. I was helping her learn the 12 steps. We would do prayer and meditation together. Like, this little girl became she was just like my daughter, you know? Like, I've always had this like motherly instinct about me, especially whenever like I hang out with other women. Like, I always want to be like the person to take care of everybody, kind of like I am now on this channel. Like, I just want to take care of everybody, and I want everybody to be okay. So me and Andy did really good, you guys, and she graduated like a week before me, and then I graduated, and we moved right back into 2 rooms with each other. Oh, Jessica says, Nicole, are you much clearer now that you are down to 2 milligrams? I know you were feeling blah last time I was around. You were at 12. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I actually feel like I have more energy now, Jessica. And because what had happened with me in the Suboxone, you guys, is I had been on 12 milligrams for so many years. I had just gotten to a point where I almost felt like I was just going through the motions. And so for me, I do best when I'm challenging myself, okay? I do best when I'm challenging myself and I'm working towards something like a taper. And so I decided to start tapering and challenging myself to do better. And doing that taper, you guys, it like relit this fire inside me to keep doing my recovery and help others. And so, yeah, I feel great, girl. I actually have a lot more energy. So, okay, me and Andy got out of treatment, you guys, and we moved back into the halfway house. And anyway, she ended up relapsing and not coming back, okay? And I remember being so sad because we had become so close, right? Well, I found her, you guys, on Instagram. And guess what? She's sober, like 5 years sober now. Hello, I can just say how happy I am to have found this channel. Jackie, well, I saw you commented on the community tab post the other day, and I'm really glad you're here. Welcome to my channel, and you're family now. So welcome to the Real Talk Recovery family, sis. Emily says, hey, Nicole, have you ever thought about becoming a foster parent? You would be amazing and could really, really help people. So let's talk about that. Anyway, the whole reason I was telling you all that story is because my friend Andy reached out to me the other day to tell me how proud of me she was, and because she's been watching my recovery journey. And so I responded back to her, and I was like, you know what? I am so grateful, thankful, and blessed for you. And I'm so glad that we, met each other and became friends, because now we're both sober and we can both help each other make a difference. So good times, good times. Okay, so foster parenting. Actually, Emily, I've never thought about that, and there's a reason why. Whenever my son got taken away from me, it was really, really difficult for me. And it's not so much the being a foster parent that I wouldn't like to do. It is the people that run Child Protective Services that I can't stand them, y'all. I feel like they don't care about anyone. I feel like they take kids away, and they take children away, you guys, and they just like walk through the motions. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do I explain this? I've seen so many kids get taken away that they probably shouldn't have got taken. Like maybe their parents needed to go into treatment, but they had a good household. They just needed help with addiction, and they got taken away and ended up being in a worse situation. But Nate would love it. He would love to have a brother or a sister, to hang out with. So maybe one day I'll do that. But right now, I'm just taking care of Nate and trying to work on my sobriety. I'll tell you this: I do some things with women that come through the DHS system. It's called parent partnering, and I used to work one-on-one with women that had their children taken, because DHS asked me to. After they look at like a case, not a human. Yeah, right. Absolutely. In my experience going through Child Protective Services, it was horrible. Okay. I'm very, very blessed because my caseworker was an amazing person that I still talk to this day. And she's the one who pushed me to like share my story of recovery. And she actually, she knows I'm still sober and all that good stuff, and she's hella proud of me. But she was a good person, and she was a good caseworker. I've met lots of workers who didn't give a damn about anybody, you know what I mean? And they, like you said, they just took the kids and just wanted to process them through almost like it was for money. Anytime, Jackie, for real. And listen, I'm just going to let you guys know, those of you guys that are in here that are my moderators, we're going to have a couple of trolls coming over because of the drama that happened with It's Mean. And so if y'all see anybody coming in saying hateful stuff, just block them. Don't even think about it. Just block them. They don't deserve to be here. A lot of people are they're upset because I exposed him. I told the truth and he didn't tell the whole story. Samantha says, I had a caseworker that offered to help us get help before taking our kids, but I called and left 7 voicemails and she would never call me back. That's another thing. If I was going to do anything, you guys, it would be working it would be working for the state and being a caseworker to help people. Because a lot of these workers, they have no idea what they're doing. They've never been in the situation. They've never had an addiction. And so when you're trying to help people change their lives, if you don't have experience in what they're struggling with, it's a hard to get through to them. You know what I mean? It's hard to connect with somebody when you don't understand and you haven't been through that hardship that they've been through. And so hopefully one day, if I can, I'll go back to college and I'll do something where I can work with people like that. Like, I think that would be like, what would that job be called when you're a caseworker? I can't remember. Anyways, I could do that. I'll tell you guys this much, okay? I actually am getting certified. Thank you, Sam, just so you know. I'm getting certified, you guys, for my peer recovery coaching certification, just so I can have it, so that way people will know that I went through the classes and got certified. I'm already doing the work. I just need the certification. And I also found this website where I can get certified in coaching, and it's only like $100. But I'm going to tell you all this. You don't have to do that. The only reason people do that is because a lot of people want to have it. They want to see like your paperwork saying that you've been certified. But like anyone can be a coach. Anyone can help people with recovery that's been down that road and has the experience. You know what I'm saying? But to be taken seriously by like people that are wanting to pay you, it's good to have the credentials. That's the only reason why I'm doing that. I'm thankful she never came back to get the kids, but she was so rude to us, told me how fucked up my face looked from drugs, then left and never answered. Oh my God, Sam. See, that shit pisses me off. You're a beautiful girl. If y'all didn't know, Sam lives in Arkansas, and I'm her sponsor. So me and her have met in real life. Huh, girl. Is hubby dropping with you or just you? No, just me, just me. That's great, girl. If you ever want to work in detox or houses or rehabs and be taken seriously. That way paper will help. Right. And so, well, you guys know that I work with some amazing people right now that work helping people get sober, but I just want to have it to say I have it, you know what I mean? Especially since it's cheap and I can do it. Now, what would be awesome is if I could do like, and listen, here's the thing. I hate that I even have to do this because I feel like it's just like me going through the motions because I already know the curriculum, but what I need to learn is the ethics side of things. So that's why I'm going, so I can learn about ethics, not really anything else, just because, you know, there's a certain way ethically that you treat people whenever you're working with them. And so I want to make sure that I learn that and I do the right thing. Hey, Shannon, what's up, girl? How are you doing during this crazy time that we're having in the United States? Well, everywhere, really. It's a really, really scary time right now, you guys. Like, this color is so pretty. I wish you guys could see it. It's like a hot pink with orange around the perimeter, and it looks like a sunset almost. That's why they call this palette the sunrise palette. So anyways, let's talk about some more stuff. Give me some more questions, y'all. Hey, Alyssa, what's up? Or Elise. Hey, Elise, what's up, girl? Saying hello from Seattle. So glad to have found your channel a few weeks ago. I'm so glad you found my channel too. Welcome to the family, girl. I'm so glad you're commenting. Stephen Walker says, you need to chill on the makeup. Stephen, thanks, bud. I appreciate that. We're doing makeup and having a good time if that's not something you enjoy doing. If you want to come back tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're having a recovery speaker come and tell their story. So that might be something that you enjoy a little bit more, Stephen. Or you can just shut off the thing where you see me and just listen to my voice. The title, Makeup and Chill. Okay, I see what you're saying. You got me on that one. Don't forget your own recovery, though. I saw a bunch of people at local meetings start that process, and for some reason, even after years doing fine, relapse after starting peer certification. Okay, so let me tell you something about that, okay? Hey, Bobby, how are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. Steven, you got me. You got me. I was trying to be my best, nicest self. Okay, joke's on me. Joke's on me, buddy. All right, so let me tell y'all this. I had a very close friend of mine that went to college and got her certification to be a counselor. She became a counselor, you guys, okay? And she's a good one too. She became a counselor and she had 6 years sober. And what happened was she started kind of like making her recovery her job, okay? So let's say she was at work all day, right? Working with addicts. Instead of going to a meeting and feeding her recovery and feeding her soul, she would say, well, I've been at work all day, right? I don't need to go to a meeting. And so what ended up happening, I'm going to get her on the channel to tell her story. In fact, I'm fixing to text her right now. Thank you so much for even reminding me of that. She ended up relapsing, you guys, after many years sober. And that was probably one of the main reasons, is because she was just, her job was her recovery. Instead of, like you said, Sam, taking time for herself and doing her own recovery to feed her soul. I will tell you guys this. I'm okay. If I ever need to take a break, I will do it. I promise you guys that. But this really does help me stay sober. So, but I want y'all to know I do therapy, and I talk to my sponsor every day, sometimes twice a day. And I'm trying, if I could get to a meeting now, I would. But me and Sam, we're going to meet and go to meetings together as soon as this coronavirus goes down. Huh, Sam? People spend so much energy on others' recovery that they neglect their own sometimes. Absolutely. And one of the things that I always struggle with, especially having a YouTube channel, is that I want to give so much, right? I want to give all the time. And sometimes I will go and go and go and go. until I give myself out, until I'm giving so much that I don't have anything left for myself. And so sometimes I have to take a break, but most of the time I'm all right. But I'll let you know if I start struggling. One of the things that I'm learning, and you guys are learning it with me because we're doing it together, is I'm learning about balance. I'm learning how to prioritize things in my life so that way I have a strong foundation and I stay sober. You know, my main focus is staying sober because without my sobriety, I won't have you guys, I won't have my son, I won't have my jobs, and I hope that you guys are doing the same. Even though we're on lockdown right now, we need to be prioritizing our recovery. Seattle is on super lockdown. Heard they are bringing in the National Guard. No church, no gathering of any kind. Parks are closed. Downtown Seattle is so dirty and only homeless are out. It's the strangest thing. That is super sad, girl. And you know what? What are those homeless people going to do? Like, are they just like wandering around? That's so sad. That's just fucking sad. I hate having underlying problems. I'm such a high risk. I can't go anywhere. Man, what's wrong, Bobby? What's going on? How are you having a depression? Is that what's going on? I saw your comment on the last video I did about you wanting to be grateful and that you're just struggling with that. And so I want to talk to you guys, okay? So I know that this is probably going to be like so cliche, all right? You got to fake it until we make it, all right? So, Bobby, this is for you. Even though you don't feel grateful and you're struggling right now, fake it until you make it, okay? I want you right now, Bobby, right now, to list 3 things that you're grateful for right now, okay? And I'm going to help you. Bobby, you're grateful that you have a roof over your head and that you're safe right now. Bobby, you're grateful that you have this recovery group and people that you can relate to and talk with. Okay, Bobby, right now you have food and water. So that's another thing to be grateful for, having your needs met. Okay, even if it's that simple, sometimes we got to do that. Okay, let me read some of y'all's comments. Sorry about that. I'm so disappointed that we haven't been able to get together. I know, girl. Me too. My mom told me that her work told her that the military is going to be sitting outside of her store here soon. Wow. All right, guys, I got to go. If I don't make it back here in time, I'll see y'all at 7. Bye. Love you, bub. I am. That's why I'm here too. I need the support any way I can. Absolutely. And so here's the thing, you guys, like for those of you guys that are like needing positive reinforcement, needing support, we're going to have, like I said, a recovery guest on tonight that's going to share their story. Then tomorrow we're going to have a recovery guest on to share his story. And so we're going to have all kinds of different people coming on to give you hope. Also, if you're someone who is wanting to share when we do these meetings, one of the ways that somebody told me I could do better on the meetings, you guys, was to have it more interactive to where you guys can like call in and share. And so I want you guys to call in and share. So what we're going to do is I am going to put a link. In fact, we can do that right now in practice. Is there anybody in the chat that would be willing to come on the screen with me and chat? Hold on. Let me send myself this email. What? Hold on, guys. I'm going to send myself this link, and then maybe we can all chat. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm going to send a link, and then you guys can come in the chat with me. I gotcha. It's just a tough time. I understand, Bobby. I just want you to know that I love you, man, and that I'm here for you, okay? Like, I'm here for you. If you need to call me on the Real Talk Recovery phone line, okay? Don't even be tripping. I got you. We have to work together during this time, all right? Why is it not showing me my email? I would, but I just go to physical therapy. Sorry, girl, I didn't shower today. Another time. What do you mean you didn't shower? Man, I'm getting kind of upset right now. Come on now. I want you guys. Nobody wants to come up here with me? Hold on a second. If I send you guys a link, will y'all come up here, or is nobody gonna do that? Because I don't want to do it if y'all don't want to. There we go. I got the link. Okay. You can come up here and share some of your story. You can come up here and chat with me. Okay, there you go. I put the link in the chat. Anybody that wants to come up and chat with me and share a little bit about your recovery, come on up. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. So, you guys like this? Look how pretty that is. We're just having a good time, you guys. We're doing my makeup. We're chilling and we're talking recovery. Can I join from my phone? Yes, girl. Just click that link. Come on, Emily. Come on, girl. Bring your little butt on up here. You know I got you. You be safe. It'll be just like we're having a conversation on the phone. All you got to do is click that link. That would be so cool too, girl. Let me tell y'all some other stuff that's going on. Yes, Emily. I want to, but I'm going to have to plan it beforehand. Watches the kids. I totally understand, girl. I totally understand. I mean, it's not a big deal if your kids are in the background, just as long as they don't get on the camera. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to get we don't want to get in trouble by the YouTube for having our kids on, because we're not a kid-friendly channel. You know, when I first started my channel, you guys, I didn't know how to talk on screen. I would get real nervous and I was like, just be weird. But now I just love coming on here and chatting with you guys. One of the hardest decisions I ever made, but one of the best decisions, was when I decided to go get on Suboxone. Do y'all want to hear about that? For those of you guys that maybe are struggling, or you just got on Suboxone and you're feeling a little bit of guilt and shame surrounding that, let me share something with you guys, because I felt the same way, and it took me a little bit to understand the medication and learn that not everybody can get recovery the same way. Not everybody's going to go and get into treatment and come out of treatment after 30 days and be like, oh yeah, I'm never going to use drugs again, right? Hey, Alex, what's up? Welcome to the channel. They're so loud. I've gotten on camera before in the rooms, and everyone bitches about my background noise. Okay, girl, I hear you. I hear you. Don't worry about it. So whenever I got out of treatment, after being in treatment for 30 days, now y'all have to understand, I had been to rehab before 5 other times. So when I went to treatment, I knew what they were going to teach me about. I know how to stay sober. I just never put it into action, right? I never worked on it. I never did the steps. I never reached out for help. I never did therapy. And you know, there's multiple pathways to recovery. You don't just have to get sober and work the 12 steps. There's other ways to stay sober other than 12-step fellowships, right? And I think that's a big misconception, because a lot of people don't talk about the other options that there are out there, right? It's like everybody only talks about the 12 steps. And so the reason why, you know, we have this channel is so we can talk about other options that are out there besides just doing AA and NA. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the 12 steps, you guys. But I need you guys to know that there's other options. And some people, don't get down with the 12 steps. That's not something that they like or are willing to do. So, for those of you guys that are like, I don't do that, or I don't like the 12 steps, there's other options out there. And that's where, MARA and Refuge Recovery, Smart Recovery, all those are programs. Emily's here, you guys. I'm excited. Hold on, girl.
I'm so nervous.
Hey, girl.
Hi.
Welcome to my channel.
Hello. I'm super nervous. I don't know.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. Okay, so tell us your name, where you're from.
I'm trying to get the good lighting so I don't look like
You're fine. You look beautiful. Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to introduce yourself to everybody. Tell us where you're from, what your name is, and your drug of choice, and how you got sober.
Emily. My name's Emily. I'm from Canada. I'm currently on 2 milligrams of Suboxone, and my drug of choice was, well, I'm a poly addict, so I had like cocaine, heroin, and Xanax, but it was mostly the downers for me because I have like really bad anxiety. So anything, like, I was addicted, so I would use it, but I would feel like I was having a heart attack. But I was so addicted that I couldn't stop.
Oh, I know what you mean. That's how I was when I would do like meth. I would do it so much, and it would make me go crazy, but I would still do it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'd be up until 5 a.m. doing lines. I hadn't slept for 3 days, and I was working at a strip club as a dancer. And I would go in without like any sleep for 3 days, and I don't know, the bartender was always able to tell. Like I would come in and the manager was always able to tell, but I never did it at work. So
tell us a stripper story, a crazy stripper story. I know you got some.
Oh God, there's so much. Well, I don't know. I guess I became like so desensitized to that life that what I would consider crazy and what other people would consider crazy. Like, oh, there was this one time, this chick, she was like a real like, well, what we would call hood here. Like it was in Ottawa, and there's a lot of like gangs there. So I was in like Saint Laurent area working at a club there, and it was mostly like Bloods and Crips. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Oh yeah, you're okay.
Yeah, but and I guess she'd gotten into a fight because we have like our regulars. Well, I'm not dancing anymore because I'm pregnant and in recovery, but we would have like, as dancers, we would have what we would consider like our regular customers there that would like just come in to spend money on us and everything. And I guess while this girl, her stage name was Champagne, this girl was on stage, and this girl tried to make a move on her regular, and she, like, this Champagne girl, she was a fighter. Like she got kicked out of like 6 or 7 clubs because like she would like deck a bitch. Like she would, oh yeah, like she would beat this girl up. She came off that stage and she'd had some drinks in her, and we always knew like you don't give Champagne vodka because she'll fucking like beat a bitch, you know. And this girl was making a move on her regular, and she gets in her face, and they're all like screaming at each other, and everyone was like, okay, it's gonna be a fight or whatever. This girl takes off her shoe, literally like her 8-inch like pleaser, and jabs her in the face. Like, oh yeah, she left in an ambulance. Oh yeah, like blood pouring down. Like it was crazy.
Damn, she was gangster. Champagne was gangster.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with that girl. It was insane.
Tell me this, what inspired you to get sober? Like what made you make the change to go get on Suboxone?
Well, the only thing I don't want to say the only thing, because I mean I got sober before I was pregnant, but I was just really sick and tired of living that lifestyle. Like I'd lost my job, I'd lost my friends. I came home after making like almost $1,000 as a dancer every single night, and I came home after probably like hundreds of thousands of dollars to my name like in that year. And I'd come home after, because what had happened was I had a seizure at the club. because I have like epilepsy so I don't know. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here,
No,
but
you're
I had
okay.
a seizure. I had a seizure at the club, and the paramedics had to get called. And what had happened was I was overdosing because I wasn't really doing cocaine at the time, but I was doing a lot of Xanax and I was drinking. And you're
Uh-huh.
not supposed to do that. Like, you can black out and everything. And I was running out of Xanax and I knew that I needed something, but I was so drunk. Like, I was super, super drunk at the club. Like, I think the manager had been feeding, like the daytime manager had been giving me like, I think I had like 17 shots of tequila. And I
Uh-huh.
wasn't like, I was working that day. And I guess all the Xanax, like, my body just couldn't handle it, and I had a seizure at the club in the coat booth. And
Uh-huh.
that wasn't the first time that I'd had a seizure there. And before, it wasn't a seizure, it was an overdose, but it had looked like a seizure. So they were
Uh-huh.
like, well, is this bitch like seizing or is she overdosing? And it was, I'd had it coming. Like, I was friends with everyone there and I was friends with the staff, and I thought that they actually liked me and I was of value to that club, and oh, they can't fire me, I'm a house girl. And it was
Uh-huh.
just, I just lost everything, and I was so sick of like losing my money. My whole face was breaking out. I mean, I guess, as an ex-meth user, but I would get like the scabs on my face and the sores and
Uh-huh.
stuff. And I mean, I couldn't go to work like that. You have to look good as a dancer. And
Right.
I wasn't sleeping. I was losing all this weight. I had lost money. All my friends were like scared to hang out with me. I was just tired. I was just
Did,
so tired.
did you get offered drugs a lot working at the strip
Oh
club?
yeah. Oh yeah. Like, you'd get free cocaine and stuff like all night, and there was like, I guess I don't mind admitting this on YouTube, but like, I was doing other things too. And
Uh-huh.
like, especially with like some of my regulars and stuff, I would like have sex with them for money.
Yep.
And I was using protection. Luckily, I was safe. I don't know how I didn't contract anything, but there was this one client that I would do stuff with him for Xanax. And
I've totally
yeah,
been there, sis.
yeah, it was crazy. I had no value for myself at all. Like, looking back on it, I'm like, I legitimately, like, it sounds so cliche and everybody says it, but I'm like, I legitimately don't know who that person was. Like, I'm
That's what
like, I
happens
would
when you're
never.
in addiction. When you're a
Yeah,
woman,
it's actually crazy.
when you're a woman, even men go through this, but not like women do. And we know that we have something that people are willing to pay for. Our
Exactly.
bodies are valuable. And when
Hmm.
you get to in your addiction and you get to that point where, you know, I was the same way. So don't be ashamed and don't be embarrassed. Like I didn't care about money. I was like, you got drugs, I will give you this for that,
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so there was times in my addiction where I got so bad off that it was like if you had opiates, I was going to do whatever I could to get them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I didn't
Yeah.
have money, and that meant like doing something strange for a little bit of change, I was
Hmm.
going to do it. Um, tell me this: How did you start getting high? Was it something that happened in your childhood? Did you have trauma
Oh.
from childhood?
Yeah.
Did you have a bad upbringing? Did you tell me
Yeah.
about that?
So I had a really, really, I guess it was a really rough upbringing. It's like a lot of addicts, like, it stems from the trauma. They say that, like, it's what do they say? Trauma is the gateway drug. That
Mm,
trauma is the gateway drug. And for me, that really was true. So what I went through, so my mom was 42 years old when she had me, and this is my birth mother, and she was the first woman hired in a paper mill. So this was like, I mean, 20 years ago. I'm almost 22. But
mm,
she was the first woman hired in a paper mill. I don't know much about her other than what they gave me on like a couple sheets of paper from Children's Aid, because I'm technically like Crown Ward, like a ward of the state.
Oh.
But so she was 42 when she had me. She got injured working at a paper mill, and then she got hooked on the painkillers, and then like any addict really, like it just progresses from there, and she got hooked on like I guess heroin and morphine and stuff. She actually got hepatitis C, and she was pregnant with me. Somehow I didn't get it. I don't really know. I guess she was taking the medication. So she had me, and the whole time that she was pregnant with me, she was using. She didn't receive any prenatal care until 2 weeks before I was born, because I guess she was afraid that I was going to get taken away, because she definitely would have tested positive for anything in her system. All I really know about my dad, well, my birth father, is that he was a handsome man in his mid-50s, and that their relationship was brief. When he found out that she was pregnant, he left. So what had happened was I was born on a lot of drugs. Like I was one of those babies that you see that are like withdrawing and stuff. Like they said that I was in really rough shape, like for a couple months. Like I would have like seizures and like pass out and all that stuff, but I was okay. So I was adopted at 5 months old. She gave me up. Since I'm pregnant now, I would do the same thing. It's just a selfless decision that you have to make for your baby, to make sure that your baby's going to be okay, right? Like if I couldn't take care of my baby, I would give it up for adoption. If I was still using, I think that, I don't know, since I went through that, I think that I probably would, or I would go into treatment, try to receive any help possible to make sure that I could be a good mother. But so I was adopted at 5 months old, and I was raised by a family. My mom, I say my mom, she wasn't my birth mom, but she couldn't have kids. So she adopted 4 children from, I guess, parents that used. Or so I have like a little brother, well, 2 little brothers and an older sister. And my 2 little brothers, they have the same mom but different dads. And then my older sister, we all have different parents. So I went through a lot of trauma as a child. My parents were they were really strict, and they were really abusive, like very emotionally. Like I went through a lot of problems as a child. Like I had behavioral problems, and I was always getting into trouble, and it's hard for me to talk about. I think it's just all the hormones too, but I was assaulted from the time that I was 10 until 15 by my father. So, and so from a young age, I didn't want to feel it. I thought that it was normal. I thought that that's how families showed love to each other, right? And he would take it out on me, because like it was like I was the black sheep of the family. Like I was always getting into trouble, right? And my mom had a heart attack when I was 10 years old, and she went to the Heart Institute in Ottawa, and he said that it was my fault, that if I wasn't such a bad child, that basically that I deserved it, and that I gave my mom a heart attack with all my bad behavior and whatnot, which I know now isn't true and was completely fucked up. But from a really young age, then I started like 14, I started sneaking out. I was skipping school. I wasn't going to class. Like I was smoking weed, drinking, to the point that like my problem with the drugs and the alcohol was that I could never stop. I was always the last one up. I was always the one that wanted to get another bag of Coke. I was always the one that wanted to do more. I wanted to numb myself to the point, like, even at 14, like, I would drink to the point that I would be hospitalized. Like, there was no stop for me. It was always like, go, 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 because fuck, you cannot leave me alone with my own fucking thoughts for 2 seconds, because then I'm gonna feel everything. And I was so terrified of being left alone with my own, like, thoughts and feelings, right? So I got involved with a really bad boyfriend at 14 years old. He was in and out of juvie, and he was actually tried as an adult at 16 or 17 years old. So he was in like the avenues. I lived in a really small town, and I'd go over there because my mom was bipolar, and like every time she would get mad at me, she would kick me out. She would say, "Get the fuck out. I don't care. Like, you're a cunt. I don't care if you die. You're causing me all this stress, whatever." So of course I would leave. Like, I'd be like, "Jesus, like, I'm not wanted here," whatever. I would leave. And then
Right.
it's like she would switch, and I would go over to my boyfriend at the time. His name was Owen. And I would go over to his house, and then it's like she would like switch in the morning, and then she'd file a missing persons report after kicking me out. Like, it was insane. Like, the police eventually were like, "You need to stop calling us. This is getting ridiculous. Like, it's not an emergency. You can't kick your kid out and then file a missing persons report. Like, that's crazy."
Right.
So at 14, like, I started doing heroin. Like, I started doing really hard, like, pain pills, like, because my dad, he had a back injury. He'd fallen off a ladder at 18, and he'd done something to his back, and it was never the same. So he had a bunch of pain pills. So I started stealing those. And I would bring them, yeah, and I would bring them on, like, well, go, like, you know, he was doing all that to me, and it's like, well, geez, I don't want to feel this if I'm going to go through this, and I know that at that point it's not normal, then I don't want to feel this, you know, I'm going to get high.
Right.
So I would steal his pain pills, and I would go over to my boyfriend's house, and his parents would be strung out on the floor, or like on a cot on the floor. They'd be strung out, passed out with needles in their arms, and we'd go down to the basement, and we'd like, yeah, we just do a bunch of drugs and get high together. He was actually the first one that showed me how to shoot up at 14, 15 years old, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was hardcore, and I was still drinking, I was still smoking weed, I was taking Molly, anything that I could get my hands on that would make me not feel like that, I was taking. And at this point because I was always suicidal too. Like, I had emotional problems growing up, even before.
When you say your dad was assaulting you, do you mean he was sexually assaulting you?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
any assault is bad, but I mean, like, damn, girl, listen, I'm not trying to, like, make you feel bad or anything like that, but I see why you went to drugs.
Yeah, of course.
Because
Yeah.
you don't know how to cope with that.
Yeah.
And
And I
nobody
thought
would
it
know
was
how to cope
normal.
with that.
Yeah.
You know? Did you ever tell on him?
Yeah, so that's what ended up happening is I knew at this point we learned but like grade 6, grade 8 how kind of sex works, and because my mom never told me anything about sex. She didn't, like, she put me on birth control. See, I think that my mom knew what was going on because she had me on birth control by the time I was 14, and I wasn't even really having sex yet. So it's like, why would you put your like 13, 14-year-old on birth control if she's not having sex, you know? It's like, you kind of know that something's going on for that. So I'd written a suicide letter, and I think I'd given it to my friends, and I was gonna either shoot myself, I was gonna hang myself, or I was gonna jump off a bridge. So, and they found me, they'd read the letter, and they'd went to the school counselor, and it was just insane. I remember they called in my parents to the high school that I was going to, and this was a really small town. Like, keep in mind, there's probably like 8,000 people in this like very, very small town. So it was like all over. Like, everyone heard about it. Half the people didn't believe me. They said I was lying. They said I was like a pathological liar, that I was doing it for attention. My mom actually didn't believe me. So what actually ended up happening was the cops came to the school, my parents came to the school counselor, they interviewed my parents, they interviewed me, and I think Children's Aid got involved back into my life. And they actually, the most fucked up thing about it, now that I'm older and I understand, is that I was never removed from the house. I just ran away, and like, they removed my dad from the house. I think that he was staying down the street at like one of our neighbors' houses, but they never removed me from the house because I was scared. I was 14. I'd made those allegations, and they wanted me to file a proper report and charge him. And I was terrified, you know, like, I mean, that was
Well,
my
yeah.
dad. I still loved him. I just knew that he was sick and he was doing something wrong. And like, they were like physically abusive as well. Like, it got to the point, I remember the last time I was in my childhood house, the allegations had come forth, like they wanted me to charge my dad or whatever. And I think I had like a bunch of pills that my boyfriend had gave me, and I'd left them in my room. So I snuck back into the house because I was always sneaking out. I was getting out of the house as much as I could. Like, I was staying at my best friend's house. Like, her mom kind of knew like how fucked up my parents were, and how, because I was coming to school like with bruises and stuff too. Like, they were, it wasn't really my mom, but it was my dad. He would get mad because I'm very small. Like, at the time I was like 5'1", 100 pounds. And like, my dad was like 6'3", like 200 pounds, you know?
Yeah.
And my boyfriend had given me a bunch of pills, and I snuck back into the house, and my mom had taken them. She'd taken them and she put them in a room, and I wanted to get those pills and get the fuck out. Like, I was like, this is all I need. I didn't care to pack a bag. I wanted to pack a bag, but I had them in that bag, and she'd taken the bag and put it in the room, and she was standing guard, and she's like, you're not taking it, you're not leaving, whatever, like, you need help, you're fucked up, like, we need to get you a mental hospital, like, this didn't happen, you're destroying our family, you're lying, like, you're very troubled and you need help. And what ended up ensuing is that my sister was laughing at me, and my dad took me by my throat and threw me up against the wall, like, hard, really hard, like, and all my mom had said was, don't leave a mark, Paul, because then she can show that to the cops. So
Wow. Why did they give you to them? Why were they able? That makes me so sick. Like, they should have never been able to adopt you. Did they adopt you from Child and Youth Services?
My birth mother actually chose them.
Oh my God. Did they not do any kind of back? Well, you know what? It's done. What's done is done now. But that's the thing that I'm talking about with people that work for Child Protective Services like that. Sorry, my dog's fixing to go crazy because my mother-in-law is outside. Hold on just a second.
It's okay.
Keep talking to everybody. I'm going to let my son in real fast.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Oh, I'm sweating. My hands are all clammy. I don't talk about this shit normally, so it's like stressing me, but it also feels good to talk about.
Okay, sorry about that. I just had to go open the door for Nate. He just got home from his Gigi's house.
Oh, that's so cute. I love him. I watch him in your videos, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope if I have a son, like, that he's like that. He sounds so cute.
You know what? You are so strong, girl. Like, a lot of people.
Oh, thank you.
So whenever people ask me, like, why did you start getting high? Like, I don't have anything that happened to me when I was younger that was terrible. Mm-hmm. I just fell down the wrong path. I started hanging out with the wrong type of people.
Yeah, but that's the thing too. I think that, honestly, I've discussed this with my boyfriend. Sorry to interrupt you. I feel like because my mom was I was born on heroin. So me giving into that, if I would have touched it, even if nothing bad would have happened to me, first time I would have touched it. I was born an addict, you know? First time I would have touched it, I would have been hooked regardless. If nothing bad would have happened anyways, you know?
I have bodyguard.
Right. Well, you know what? Whenever that happens and it's already in your system, before you ever pick up, you're born with a disease of addiction. It's like genetically predispositioned. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And so your mom being in active addiction when you were in her belly, you know, like that was just making it even worse. Thanks, Barb. I love you. Sure. Love you guys. We're doing a meeting. You know, they shut down all the AA and NA meetings, so now we're doing them online. Yeah.
We're doing an AA meeting.
Well, a recovery one, and somebody's telling her story. They all know who you are, though.
You're so open with him.
Yeah, he knows all about Mama's recovery. He knows that. Yeah, he also knows that I help people. Yeah, it is.
It's
a lot of people gave me. Yes. Thanks, Gigi. A lot of people gave me some flack at the beginning when I first started my channel about me being honest and stuff like that. Yes. he would already know it, you know, because he
Exactly.
is so smart.
Exactly. I see the way he asks questions and the way he watches you. He would know. He's a smart kid. He's,
Right.
you know?
He's so smart.
Yeah.
So tell me this, girl. They got your dad, you got out of that house.
Yeah.
Did you go to live with another family, or did you have to be on your own?
So I was bounced around a lot. Actually, I moved in the first foster home I was in. I moved in with a couple of friends of mine, and that placement didn't work out. Let's just say that. I talk to them now, but I was a bad kid, you know? Like, I was using. I didn't want a curfew. If you gave me a curfew, I wasn't going to listen. I was drinking at parties. I think I'd gotten a little better at this point because I went to the children's hospital because I was a minor, because I wanted to kill myself, and I was on all this medication to stabilize my mood because I was crazy and tore apart the family. So I mean,
Girl, you weren't a bad kid. You were a product of your environment.
mhm,
You were abused and neglected and treated horribly. So
mhm,
that's what you were giving back. You were
mhm.
never able to learn how to be happy and stable because you weren't grown up in that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but
So
I bounced around from like foster home to group home. I eventually got a place on my own when I was 18 after I was in like a super abusive relationship.
mhm.
So I had my own apartment at 18, and then I figured out, I'd always talked with my friends, and like I was kind of using off and on at this point. I think I'd gotten some methadone from the streets, but I was still taking anything I could get my hands on, you know. I was still getting so drunk every single time. Like, it's like my friends didn't want to drink with me anymore. If you brought me to a party, I would get so drunk that I would pass out. Or I would get so drunk that, oh, Emily's in the hospital again because she drank too much, you know? Like, that was a really common occurrence of, like, I just took it too far all the time. I could never stop. There was no, like, okay, I've had enough, I'm going to go to bed. It's like, no, I'm going to drink until I actually pass out, you know? It was like, that's why I can't do anything. Like, my boyfriend now, like, he smokes so much weed, and, like, I have a little CBD vape that I use sometimes, like, if I'm having trouble sleeping, but, like, even before I got pregnant, I knew that I needed to get help, and I worked the Suboxone program. I got onto that, and I knew that I needed help or I was gonna die, you know? Like, I'd overdosed a couple of times, I'd gotten Narcan. Like, I didn't want to be that like 21-year-old stripper found dead on a curb, you know, because some John murdered her or like she overdosed, you know? Like, I didn't want that to be my life because I knew that that's what everybody expected of me. Like,
Yeah, listen to me. You were born. Listen, you say you couldn't stop because the disease of addiction. You are an addict. The disease, it's like textbook disease in you, and the progression of addiction is exactly how you explained it. And then you progress and you go up and you go up and you go up. And I was the same way. I was always the friend who was closing the club down. I was always the friend who was shooting up the most. I was always the friend who was stealing people's dope out of their baggies, you know, like just ultimate, you know, in excess. So that's the disease. It's the obsession. The obsession to use is so great that there's nothing that will overpower it. You have to just get to a point where you're so tired,
you're so done.
you're so miserable that it's called the gift of desperation. And you get so desperate that you're ready to make a change. So
I needed to. I was so tired, and I like looked, it sounds vain too, but like I looked at like how much I'd aged and how much I'd put my body through, and I was like, oh my, like I'm 21 years old and I need veneers. Like, my teeth are falling out of my head and like my hair was falling out. I was like 100 pounds. I don't even know how I was still making money because I looked like shit. Like, I looked like I was dying. And just, it was bad. It was really bad.
And it'll only get worse. So tell me this: when you got on Suboxone, were you pregnant, or did you get on Suboxone before you got pregnant?
I got on Suboxone before I got pregnant, probably like 3 or 4 months before. But
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't a planned pregnancy. It wasn't planned, but it wasn't unplanned. Like, I didn't think that I could get pregnant anymore because I'd had an abortion, like, because I was using, and I was like, I just can't, like, since what I was put through as a baby, I was just like, I just can't do it. And I was in an abusive relationship. And then after that, I'd been with my boyfriend not long, but we were like, we were on each other all the time and nothing was happening. And we were having sex without a condom. And I was like, there's something wrong with me. I'm not surprised, but there's something wrong with me. I can't get pregnant anymore.
Right.
And it was a new relationship, but we really loved each other. And I was like, well, I see this going somewhere. So I had an ultrasound booked because I was like, I don't want your babies right away. But I was like, if we do stay together, and like I'm getting to that age where like I feel like I want to know if I can have kids, like especially since nothing was happening. I had an ultrasound booked to see, because I had a Mirena IUD before, and it had given me like ovarian cysts and whatnot, so I had that removed. And so I thought that possibly could have been like causing some complications and whatnot. And it was funny, I had that ultrasound booked, and then it was like New Year's Day, and one of my friends was like, oh, hey, like, you should come and do a bunch of Jello shots with us, like there's gonna be that party. And I was still drinking at this time, but I wasn't using. Like, I think I'd relapsed once with the cocaine, but I've been sober off of heroin since August or September, so almost a year. And that's the longest that I've been sober since I was 17.
That's really good, girl. That's a miracle, What was it like when you got on Suboxone? Did you have to go through withdrawal, or how did you do it? Did you go in after you'd been sick for a little bit?
I was already sober, which I'm surprised that they gave, because initially, like, I knew that I was gonna relapse. I was like, I had been sober for, I think, a couple months at this time, or maybe just a month. And I was like, I know that if I don't put myself on this program and talk to someone, I'm going to relapse. So I went into the clinic and I was like, hey, like, I have a couple friends and they've told me about, like, this clinic is the best clinic, that it's so supportive and everything. I was like, I'm clean, but I need to be on Suboxone. I was like, I'm telling you right now, if you don't put me on Suboxone, I'm going to relapse. So they tested
I was the same way. That's exactly why I got on Suboxone, because I was like, I can't maintain sobriety,
Yeah,
I've never been able to maintain sobriety for anything longer than 6 months. 6 to 9 months is the longest I've ever made it.
Yep, that's been me too. I think like 9 months was the longest. And then I had a stretch where I was telling people, because like we're addicts, we're going to lie because we have that shame, right? Of like, I know that I'm doing something wrong, but I can't stop. But I want people to think that I'm okay, right? So I'm going to tell people that I've been clean for 3 years, when really I'm up doing lines and popping pills and, doing all this dirty Yankee stuff, like, for drugs, right? Because I always have had like this sick need to, like, not to impress, I don't want to say to impress people, but because I've had like children's aid workers and social workers, and like they check in on me and stuff, because I don't have a relationship with my parents. So I needed them to think that I was okay. Really
it's validation. I was the same way. I think a lot of us, when we are addicts, we seek validation through other people to, like, give ourselves confidence and make us feel better. You know what I mean? It's a lot of times I've done the same thing, and also you're born like that. You were born with this, like, not knowing. I describe it as, when I was younger, I always felt like I was different than everybody else. Like, I was a square peg trying to fit into a round hole, and everybody else was round and fitting into the round hole. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like how a lot of addicts describe how they felt when they were, growing up and everything. When you got on Suboxone, I know we've talked privately, but I know that you've struggled with, like, the stigma of Suboxone and people judging you for being on it and being pregnant. Like, how are you dealing with that? How have people reacted to you and judged you, and how does that make you feel?
Oh God, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because it's I'm definitely not going to get some of my friends to watch this. Well, they know how I feel. But it's hard to hear from people that are still using. I will say that. It's hard to hear from people that are still using. It's hard to get their judgment when I know for a fact they're popping a pill every single night. And it's like, if you were in my situation, what would you do? And they're like, oh, well, we know you're stronger. We know you love your baby. We know your situation with your birth mother, and we know that you don't want to be like that for your child. So you just need to be strong. And like, you're only on 2 milligrams. You were sober when you got on it anyways. Like, just get off of it. You don't need it. You're making excuses. Like, I've had that, and it's so frustrating because it's like, do you want me to fail? Do you want me to fail? Because if I got off Suboxone right now, I'm not saying that I would use, but I mean, those pregnancy dreams are intense, man. Like, I've had, and they say, like, your nightmares are what you're most afraid of, right? And it's been a reoccurring nightmare. Like, there's been nightmares of, like, my family, right? And, like, my dad and being stuck in that house. Those nightmares are insane, like those hormones. But mostly it's been, like, old dealers that I've owed money that have come to collect. I look like I'm pasty.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that work out?
Using.
What did you do when they come to collect the money?
Oh, I got beat a couple times.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
I owed some money.
Go ahead. And what did they do?
I had actually the same guy. It's funny, he's in jail now. He was just caught. I had the same guy. I think I owed him like for less than $500 worth of heroin because I was also a dealer. Like, I was dealing when I was working at the club. I was selling to people on the side, and I was giving people, like, here's the number, like, and then I'd get a chop of the profit, right?
Right.
And he had been calling me and texting me, and he knew where I was working and what club I was working at, and he'd got me hurt pretty bad before. Let's just say that. I was hanging out in a crack shack, basically, and I got shanked in my lady part. Yeah.
What the hell? Oh, hell no.
Like, this guy was insane. It was actually the guy that I originally was involved with, like, as like a 14, 15-year-old. He'd gotten me hurt pretty bad, and then I think at one point I owed him for that satchel, and he had like a Glock, and he said, come outside, because we were friends on Snapchat, so he could see my location, and he was pretending, he's like, oh, I'll waive that, whatever, because we were always like romantically involved off and on. So he was always like, oh, I love you, like, I still have feelings for you, I want to come see you, blah blah blah, like, I'll waive that fee. And he was like doing crack, like, so he was like, you know how sporadic people get when they're doing crack, like, like out of nowhere sometimes, right, even when they're clean. So he said, come outside and meet me, I've got some stuff for you or whatever. So I was renting a room off of another dancer at the time, and I went outside, and he was waiting for me. And this guy's a big guy, right? And he took his Glock and he pistol whipped me and left me on the ground. Yeah, it was insane. Girl. The doctor
I'm
said
so
that
glad that you're alive. Like,
oh yeah,
you're a miracle that you're alive and that you're sober, and now you're going to get to be a mom, and your baby is going to you're going to be the best mom. Let me tell you this.
I really hope so.
When I got sober and I got Nathaniel back, it's like, I love my son so much. It's my mission to be the best mom. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
He's my inspiration.
My motivation. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do. A lot of people will say that you can't get sober for anyone else, but it's a lie. You can absolutely use your child as motivation to never go back to that life. Yeah. That's exactly how I've gotten to where I've gotten. It's because I use my son to motivate me to make those changes. And eventually what will happen is you will keep doing that, and it'll become a working part of your mind. And then you'll be doing it for you also. But when you come from such a low spot like we did, and we are so down on ourselves with low self-esteem. We don't love ourselves. We don't feel good about ourselves. Sometimes we have to use somebody else, like our sons, our kids, to inspire us to make changes, because we don't love ourselves enough to do it for ourselves, but we love our babies enough to do it for them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's almost like it's been like it's a running joke for like people in this town, like, oh, Emily is pregnant and like, oh, she's just gonna relapse, she's gonna lose her kid, and it's like people want to see me fail so bad, right? Like they have so much to say, they've got so much judgment, and it's just like, I'm not gonna, because I was sober before I got pregnant, and I was sober for me, like I still have those thoughts, but I have like a sponsor type relationship with like a really good friend of mine, and I basically just text him like if I have those bad dreams about using. Like I've had such intense dreams, I don't know if it's just the hormones, but from being pregnant, where I've woken up and I've checked my arms.
It's
like
normal.
To make sure. Oh, it's insane. And it makes me feel like a bad mom even having those dreams, and it's just, but I know I have no control of that.
You're not a bad mom. All of us go through that where we have using dreams. I have been in the same situation where I've woke up and I swear to God I was high. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's
Because
scary.
they're so
It's scary.
realistic. It happens. I think it's like, we have been in that life for so many years that it becomes a muscle memory to us to get high. It's a literal habit. It's a working part of our minds. And so when you get sober and you're changing your life and you're leaving that old life behind, of course there's going to be old remnants of it that come back in your subconscious, so it happens to me still to this day, and I'll have 5 years in July.
That's crazy.
In fact, I had a dream last night. It was so real. I can't believe I wasn't moaning or making sounds, because I know it was so real. I was like in it. And when I woke up, I was looking at my husband like, because it was like I was with somebody else. I was with a whole bunch of people I used to get high with when I would like run off, and so it happens to me all the time. So don't think that, and you don't need to be ashamed. Part of being a new mom and part of being pregnant, you're going to be thinking this all the time, because I know I did. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I wasn't doing a good enough job for my baby. I felt like I wasn't taking care of it. Like all these things. I was getting high though. I was getting high when I first had Nathaniel. So I wasn't being a good mom. But even when I got sober, I thought I was hard on myself. All new moms are like that. We all are really hard on ourselves. So don't try not to do that, because what my mom always tells me is that your baby needs exactly what you give your baby. You and your baby are going to have a bonding connection that no one else will have with your baby. It's just you and your baby. And your baby's going to be able to feel your cues and feel your anxiety, anything that you have going on. Your baby is going to feel that. Your baby's going to respond to that and everything. The first moment your baby comes out of your vajayjay and you sit him, I swear to God, girl, when they cut the umbilical cord and they hand you the baby, you're going to be holding your baby. And he's going to be just like relaxing, because he's going to know, oh, I'm in my mom's arms. He knows your smell. He knows your voice. He knows everything that you have. He feels all of it. It's so amazing. Wait, have you gotten to the point where he started to kick or anything yet?
I felt some move. I'm convinced it's a girl. I don't know yet. But it's a girl.
Fluttering, like butterfly kind of thing?
I definitely felt something move, and it was really, like, I've seen my stomach move, and it was really freaky. I'm like, oh my God, there's actually something inside of me. Okay.
Wait until you start seeing the hand prints, because he's pushing so hard. Or a foot print. Wait until he gets on, or she gets on your like rib cage and is pushing one way and going like really this. Painful. Nate used to do that all the time. And he used to wake up in the middle of the night, like at 10 or 11, when I would be sleeping, and just start kicking like he was doing tap dancing in there.
Oh my God.
But you know what? That stigma that people put on you is fucking ridiculous. And especially your friends that are still in their active addiction. This is what I tell you to do. Get rid of those people.
Yeah.
Don't talk to them anymore.
I just
You
don't
don't need
talk
to
to them about like anything like maintenance. Like I can still be your friend, but I know what you think of me kind of thing. But it's just like it's kind of like an agree to disagree because in my eyes I'm doing what's best for my baby and that's my business.
And okay, cool, buddy, great. And you're moving past them. Them
Mhm.
staying high. This is what's going to happen, girl. You need to heed my warning, okay? You're moving forward and staying sober. They're going to start trying to latch onto you. And you know what happens when you jump into the deep end and somebody's drowning?
What?
They pull you down and
No,
they'll
yeah.
drown you to save themselves.
True.
Anytime you're out, try it. Try going into the water, jump out in the deep end, and let somebody that's drowning try to help them. They will pull you down to save themselves. Every single time it's happened. Every time I tried to keep old friends around me that were still getting high, I ended up getting high too. So please separate yourself from those people. You don't need them in your life anyway because they're not doing the same things you're trying to do. You're changed now. You're moving on. Unless they're going to try and get sober and do the right thing too, then I'm telling you, girl, the biggest mistake, the thing that kept me relapsing is I wouldn't change the people that I was hanging out with. I kept hanging on to them. And I'm here to tell you, I hung out with people for 10 years that were my best friends that I got high with. None of them are cool in my life. None of them care that I'm so, girl, they're still, half of them are dead. Some of them are still getting high. The ones that did change, they did the same thing. They moved on and they changed their life. Get rid of them. And I hate to be like that, but you've got to save yourself because it's about you and your kid right now. Those people will not help you. They will drag you down. They might not mean to, but they will. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be preachy to you. I just don't want to.
It makes sense.
You know, I don't want to see you make a mistake that I did. I tried for so long to get sober, and there was one thing that I kept doing. I felt this need to be around these people because they were the people that understood me. They were the people that I had always hung out with. And so I would get clean and sober, and then instead of making new friends, I would go out to, hang out with them and try to help them to change to come to my way. And it never worked out. Never. It never worked out. I was never able to bring somebody up with me, ever. Now, even that I've been sober for a while, I still don't go out and try to bring people up with me. I try to share with them my experience from a distance. And if they want to work towards getting sober and making a change in their life, they can do that, but they can do it over there. And when they get to a point where they're actually in recovery and doing the right thing, and it's been for 6 months to a year, then they can come over here with me.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even feel right.
Go ahead.
I didn't even feel right. Like I'd been sober for like 2 or 3 months and like I couldn't even string together a sentence. Like I just started like, cause when I was in my active addiction, like I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't showering as much as I should have been. I wasn't like going to the doctor. I wasn't taking my medication. Like I just wasn't taking care of myself and like my mental and addressing, like now I see a drug counselor too. And I have like my sponsor person and my boyfriend's very supportive because he knows that I went through that. So that's good. But I mean, I didn't feel right until probably like 3 or 4 months sober. I didn't feel like myself, like I went through that withdrawal because it was mostly the Xanax. Honestly, I would have rather withdraw from heroin than Xanax.
It's a long. You're okay. It's a long withdrawal whenever you're going through Xanax. Benzo withdrawal is like forever. Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you for whatever reason.
Hold
I
on.
don't know what's wrong with the chat.
Hold on. Let me see if look on you muted. Did I mute mine? You can't hear me? Oh man. That's okay.
The bad part.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Oh man. It's okay, girl. It's okay.
I can't
It's okay.
hear what you're saying. I don't know how to fix this here.
All right. I love you.
Okay, bye. I love you.
I'll let you go.
Sorry about that.
I don't know what happened either.
But you can hear what her
I can hear with her. You guys, Emily did so good. Emily, if you're watching, it's okay, girl. I don't know what happened,
Mom,
but
probably-
you did really good telling your story.
Probably because her microphone ran out of battery.
Yeah, her microphone probably ran out of batteries. That's what my assistant Nathaniel says. My little assistant. Hey, Indie Animal Jay. What's up, Jay? So you guys,
Is his real name?
thank you so much, Emily, for coming on and sharing your story with us. Like, seriously, girl.
Mom,
You
Emily
have such a powerful testimony.
Mom, Emily isn't right even.
No,
right
but she's in the
here.
comments. I wish that I would have known that we were going to be on, and I would have dedicated a whole episode to just having Emily on to share her story. What I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this video. Hey, Esther, what's up, girl? I'm going to upload this video, and hopefully I could chop it up to where it's just Emily.
Why just Emily?
Because I want her to share her story.
But why not the people that can chat with you?
Oh, yeah. Well, they'll be able to chat with us, too. Raimi says, I recently had a battle of withdrawal of Xanax. It lasts forever. It does. But it's, Raimi, it's okay, because what are we practicing? We're practicing on...
Nothing.
We are practicing on positive thinking. We're practicing on not letting that negative thinking where we say, I'm never going to get through this. I'm never going to feel better. Remember, Raimi, we're going to focus on positive and we're going to focus on moving forward. Right? Right? He is funny. He's my little assistant. Of course, I said hi to you, Esther. So here's the thing, you guys. Like, tonight we have Laura coming on. Let me see if
Were
she's
you
still
about
coming.
to say Lauren, my classmate at school?
I was, but I meant to say Laura, my little assistant over here. Let me tell you, Emily, you did so good, girl.
Mom,
Yeah,
where
buddy.
is her on the chat?
She left, but she's probably in the chat talking to everybody.
What the Bart?
And you know what? Here's the thing. It's easy to get overwhelmed, especially when you're trying to taper completely off of something, you know? Baby, please stop. Okay, so yes, we have Laura Central Standard Time. So let me go ahead and text her. Suboxone withdrawal lasts 6 to 8 weeks. It's tough. But as long as we go down really low and slow, Bobby, we can make it and it won't be as bad, right? Sam Vega says, yes, Emily did a great job. Glad she is doing well. Stay strong, girl. Thanks, Sam. Welcome to the channel. I've never seen you comment before.
That was seriously for 2 seconds.
I know. I've never seen you comment before. If you're a new subscriber of mine, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. So for those of you guys that might not know, tonight it's almost 5 o'clock. It's 4:30 here.
No, it's almost 567,898,075 o'clock.
Okay, assistant.
I can't read.
It's 4:30 here. At 7 o'clock, we're going to go live with Laura Jane. She's going to share her experience, strength, and hope.
Hey, Mom,
Then tomorrow we have Dee coming on. Dee used to spend $1,000 a week on heroin, and now he is sober, and he's going to come on and share his story tomorrow. So we have a lot of great speaker meetings. I guess we could call them speaker meetings.
Wait, save this.
Nate, please stop,
I have
baby.
to tell you something. Save this to them.
What?
Corona time.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
No.
I like
Save
your coat. It's 2:30 here in California. Thank you, Esther. He is a little toot. So
Mom,
what?
why is it something out of your butthole?
Corona time?
No. Toot.
Why are you talking about my honey? My toot.
I didn't even say that.
Okay, listen. I love you. Go. Let's chill out. Let me end the stream, and then I'll be with you. See, yes, Bobby. I'll be on at 7 o'clock tonight. Thank you for everybody that came and hung out with us. Every night from now on until this coronavirus blows over, we will be live at 7 o'clock every single night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, to do recovery support. For anybody that's new and is struggling, if you need to reach out to me, all you have to do is text message me at 501-991-5149, and I will do anything I can to support you or help you find treatment if you need that. I also have, I know, right, Jay? I also have like a whole bunch of playlists, you guys, like of videos that I've done about relapse. I have playlists about my experience going to prison. I have a playlist of other content creators that have YouTube channels about recovery. So I got lots of stuff on my channel. If you guys are struggling and you're bored at the house and you just like, well, I got to do something. Hey, Successful Convicts, what's up, man? I'm so glad you're in here. Y'all go subscribe to his channel too. And Indie Animal J has a channel too. Hey, Missa, what's up, baby girl? So I want to tell you guys something. We can all work together. Missa, you'll never guess what. I got a message from one of Big Herc's, one of the people that works with Big Herc, and they recognized my channel and sent me a text message telling me that they love my content. And I just feel like, wow, I didn't even know Big Herc knew I had a channel. You know, that's like a big deal to me. What, Alexander? Okay, I'll fix it. Give me the other piece, please. I was like, wow. This morning I woke up and I had this text message, and I was like, damn, man, we are actually making a difference, you guys. People are finding out that we're here. So that really makes me happy to hear that, because I've worked really hard for the last 2 years to get the word out about our channel and to try and help people. The whole reason why I have this channel, you guys, is to help other people get sober. It's to help you make changes in your life. Okay, if you're struggling with a disease of addiction, you do not have to be a slave to drugs anymore. You can make a change just like I've made a change and turn over a new leaf and have an amazing life.
I found the piece for it.
Thank you. And you can have an amazing life. You don't have to go through that anymore. Okay? I enjoyed the show, and Emily reminded me of myself too much. Take care of yourself. Thank you, April. Come hang out with us tonight at 7, about 2.5 hours, and I'll be back on a live stream, and we'll have another guest. Laura Jane is going to come on tonight. Nathaniel, if you don't stop, I'm going to bend you over and spank you. Now it's going to go back to the old school way of life. Stop it, son. So I'll get off here, let you guys have a 2.5 hour break, and then I'll be back on at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I really hope you guys will join us tonight for Laura Jane's story, because she's got an amazingly strong testimony also. So I love you guys, and I'll see you guys this evening at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I know, Sam. I know, right? That just made me feel so special, because it's not every day that a bigger content creator, recognizes a little content creator like me. And so it made me feel made me realize that I'm making waves and that we are actually getting the word out. People are finding us here. Okay? People know that we're here. And we're helping change people's lives one day at a time. I'm not doing it on my own. You guys are helping me. We're all helping one another. That's what this is about, support. Okay? So, Nathaniel, I'm about to binge. Nathaniel, you guys, I love y'all. I'm going to get off here. It's 4:30. I'll see you at 7 p.m. 2.5 hours, and I'll be back.
Yay.
You're acting out, son.